China's J-20 program just hit a major milestone. The People's Liberation Army Air Force has received its 300th J-20. The jet with the construction serial number of CB-10-300 and production number 63106 arrived at the Changchun Air Show, and this J-20 was assigned to the 19th Air Brigade. A few facts first. The 300th J-20 carries a visible construction number, so we can confirm it's from the 10th batch and the 300th airframes serially produced, something I could officially confirm. It's tempting to compare this to the F-35 milestone a few months ago, and the comparison is useful. The U.S. Air Force recently accepted its 500th F-35, and the F-35 program has been in large-scale production for years. Boeing and Lockheed have decades of mass production experience, and the F-35 has sustained output rates of 100-plus airframes per year for some time now, backed by large, long-established supply chains. Also, this is their second stealth fighter in production, so they have enough experience already. Currently, they have 2,456 orders from the United States and 860 from foreign allies. While China's path was different, the J-20 started with a low production rate. By 2020, only about 50 airframes existed, while China worked out the design, engines, radar, and production processes. They were essentially learning while operating, iterating on batches as improvements were validated. That slower start is typical for a country building its first stealth fighter. Every batch can introduce significant changes for improvement. Once the J-20 program matured and confidence grew in the aircraft's capability, the production ramped up quickly. In 2021 and 2022, annual production rose to roughly 40 to 70 aircrafts. Then in 2023 saw a full surge, nearly 100 aircrafts produced, and 2024 kept that pace at around 100 to 120 aircrafts. In just a few years, China scaled to F-35-like production rates. Now, estimates for 2025 suggest production could reach 120 to 140 J-20s for the year. If that holds, China will accelerate its stealth fleet even further. Strategically, China appears to be aiming high. Conservative estimates put a long-term production target of at least 1,000 J-20 fighters, although the true ceiling could be higher. China simply doesn't publish long-term procurement plans the way the U.S. does through budget documents. For context, the U.S. procurement numbers are publicly visible because of congressional budget approvals. China keeps of its planning internal. Right now, the J-20s are organized across 12 air brigades. A typical air brigade fields around 24 to 36 fighters. China operates roughly 90 to 100 air brigades total, and about 40 to 50 of those brigades still fly legacy fourth-generation fighters like the J-16, the J-11, and the J-10. Plus older Russian-built aircraft such as the Su-35, the Su-30, and the Su-27 they purchased in the 90s and early 2000s, until they stopped purchasing from Russia and produced their own capable fighters. Those brigades are where most of the transition will happen over the coming years as more J-20s and J-16s roll off production lines. If we look at China's current fourth-generation fleet numbers, about 365 J-16 multi-role fighters are in service and production remains a priority. Roughly 60 to 90 were built last year, and 60 to 100 are expected this year. The J-10 fleet sits around 600, but production seems to have slowed as China focuses on higher priority like the J-16 and the J-20. The J-10 being manufactured now appears for export customers only. China also fields over 200 J-11 variants, the Chinese analog of the Su-27, which seems to have stopped production as well. They also have dozens of Russian-origin fighters like 24 Su-35, 76 Su-30 MKK, and Mk2 combined, and about 116 Su-27 SK and UBK variants, reflecting earlier purchases from Moscow. The remaining 40 to 50 brigades are filled with support, logistics, training units, 2C trainers, and test squadrons. The older legacy types will be phased out as new aircraft arrive. Like the fighter bomber, the JH-7 and older interceptors like the J-8 are mostly retired. The last frontline J-18 units were pulled back by 2022. Some J-8 were used as trainer or configured to be drones and serve as enemy aircraft on test combat. With newer and advanced trainer like the JL-9 and JL-10 entering service, the older legacy aircraft like the J-8 doesn't even get the trainer roles anymore. China is even exporting this trainer aircraft as light attack combat aircraft to developing countries, with export designation name of FTC-2000 and L-15. So the big picture, China moved from initial low-rate J-20 production and iterative upgrades to a rapid mass production phase in just a few years. Hitting the 300th airframe is proof the program has moved well into its production maturity. Final thoughts. The 300th J-20 is more than a number. It's a signal. It shows China has crossed the threshold from experimental stealth capability to operational scale. In a few short years, a program that started cautiously is now producing jets at rates once reserved for seasoned programs like the F-35. That changes force structure planning, deployment options, and the calculus of regional air power. This isn't just about quantity. Each additional J-20 strengthens brigade-level ability to project stealth and strike power across the region. If production keeps climbing toward that 1,000 aircraft mark, the J-20 will reshape the balance of fifth-generation air power in the Asia-Pacific for decades to come.